Okay, how's everything tonight, folks? I'm a little upset today, as you can tell if you looked at the what I said this was going to be about. It's but that he doesn't believe in climate science. That's the Trumpster. I'm very upset. We just got like what we would call the 2 minute warning in the Super Bowl. You know, you're down by 7 and you're on the 50-yard line. They're not issuing any. This is the most dire warning that any organization in the world has ever issued about the climate. It said basically said, unless we do something tomorrow, we're fucked. Okay. Now every big thing been going on. Most of the news coverage is about what Trump did or didn't do, or what he's planning on doing to get back into office. Now, I have two reasons first to not want Republican president. One is, of course, my Social Security will be gone, and then I have to become a thief. But two is that the Trumpster, in particular, doesn't believe in science, and in particular, climate science. He thinks it's all bullshit. Um, I mean, the West Coast is burning up. There's the Lake Mead is turning into a pond instead of a lake. There's going to be water shortages everywhere. And when that happens, ladies and gentlemen, you start having food shortages. When you have food shortages, people get pissed. They don't go to the polls and vote you out. When they have real food shortages, they get a gun, start looking for food. And I don't mean out in the woods. I don't, I can't tell you how stupid this man is with him and the people that believe in him. Every scientist in the world that I can name or have heard or read about on any form, back when I was reading, when I was in the United States and I could read a newspaper, on any website you can possibly come up with, they believe in climate change. They believe that the climate is changing and not for the good. But it's not something that is inevitable yet. It's like I said, this is the 2 minute warning. Once those 2 minutes are up, it's going to be inevitable. We're screwed. Parts of this country are going to get screwed. Any parts of the world are going to get screwed. Now, if we allow the Trumpster back in to office or any high political position, doesn't have to necessarily be president. They say he could become Speaker of the House. What happens then is you have to understand, and this is true. This isn't bullshit. Donald Trump only about things that will make him money. He doesn't love his family the way you and I love our families. He's an entirely nutcase when it comes to that. His only concern is he will support causes that will support him. He's supporting these theories and the people, the radicals that are out there because he wants to be back in office again. Because the odds are, if he was to be completely shunned by the Republican Party right now, he'd be on his way to jail. The man has committed capital crimes, I think. He uses the government in his position to block everything that they try to do against him, so that the average person that's been screwed by him can't do much about it. But if we allow this man into office, if you allow somebody with his thoughts going into office, a man who doesn't believe in the climate situation, you're condemning this not just the United States, you're condemning the world. All these climate programs and whatnot need the support of the United States. He doesn't want to do it because it doesn't do anything for him. That's a bottom line. You have to look at it. If there's some means for him to make money, if there's something that he can do that will personally enhance his life or his position in the world, he will do it. But as of this moment, there isn't anything. He's already gone on record that he doesn't believe in it, that he thinks it's a farce, a conspiracy. I'm not sure if he said Chinese conspiracy. I mean, he doesn't like the Chinese, but they got enough sense to know that the climate's a key. You don't think they're working on, you can't even say that you can do, what's that, when you plant with water, hydroponics? You can't even do hydroponics because there's not going to be enough water. What are you going to do? Desalinate the ocean? Do you know how expensive and how time consuming that is before you get enough to drink? And then what are you going to do? At the rate we use water, 10 years from 10, if there's no inconsistency, if there's the ice caps and everything continue to melt and everything, and part of the country goes underwater, what's going to happen is that you start drinking that water. In 10 years, you won't have this planet will dry up and fade away. 10 years, it's too short. Not that much. No, trust me. I don't care if the planet's 70% water. Okay, the process would leave. What are you going to do with the human waste? I mean, there's no quick solution to this. There's a lot of things that have to be done to save this planet. Population control is one of them. That's something nobody likes, because they start thinking of all these movies that have been out there about, where people are volunteering to kill themselves, or people are only allowed to live so many years, and they have to turn themselves in or be shot. I don't remember all the names, but I remember the plots of a lot of these movies. That's something we don't want to see. The easiest solution is, at the moment, is birth control. Or you start getting rid of people like me. What you want to do is you want more people to die than are being born at this moment. Now that can change. That can change from year to year. That can change from generation to generation. But right now, that's the biggest solution to the problem. Is that when we die, nobody replaces me, or you, or anybody else my age, at my generation. And then you have a chance. And this goes for every country in the world, not just ours. It's every country. You have the Catholic Church who goes out there and says, don't use contraception, use the rhythm method. We all know what that is. Rhythm method, people are called parents. And, this is their rules. They want more children born into this world. Abortions, that's the other thing they're doing. They're going to get rid of abortions. You're going to have unwanted children. You say, well, there's no child that's unwanted. Yeah, there are. There's hundreds of thousands of them out there that aren't wanted. Okay? And what happens to them? They end up being exploited. They disappear off the face of the earth. They become male prostitutes, sex slaves, or just plain slaves. It's just, I'm sorry, but it's really stupid. And it amazes me. I mean, I'm not considered to be I'm considered to be quite smart by some people, and very stupid by other people. And I guess that's a normal situation. But the smart part of me is telling me that this is what's necessary to be done. Is it popular opinion? No, of course not. It's not popular. Nobody wants to see this happen. Nobody wants to go out and say, you can't have any more kids anymore. For a few years, we have to have a moratorium on childbirth. Until the deaths, till we get room and the population becomes manageable. If you do it that way, if you put a moratorium on birth, and you don't replace the people that are dying, it will take that long before you can go back to having children again. You might have to limit the amount of children that you can have, but I don't see a problem with that. I really don't. I think I think one child is a good idea. I don't think 6 kids is a great idea. I don't think 10 kids is a great idea, unless you're very wealthy. Otherwise, you end up being supported by the state or the federal government, or you work 7 jobs. work 20 hours out of a 24-hour day or something. How are you going to support them? How are you going to get them the life that they deserve? I think everybody's capable of giving one child a very good life, or a chance at a real good life. You know, so maybe that's necessary. I'm not going to get into that because becomes a religious and moral thing. You know, but I do believe that if you put a moratorium on childbirth, for even if it's just for a year, you might be able to accomplish a little bit. You know, you to before it becomes too late and there's just too many damn people on this planet. That's what space exploration is all about. You know, but the ones that are going to go into that space exploration thing are going to be the ones that are with money and whatnot, and the poor people are going to be left on this planet. This planet's going to, if that's the case, then this planet could turn into something from a science fiction movie, like a prison planet or something like that, or a version of Mad Max when everybody else leaves this planet. This might have happened otherwise. This has possibly happened other places. We could be survivors of another race, of a race of people whose planet did, and people did the same thing we're doing, that we're doing now, and maybe we were put here to see if we would change. And obviously, I don't think we change. I don't think we change at all. We still like killing each other. The only two species on this planet that kill for sport: sharks and humans. We kill each other too. Animals know what to do when there's an overpopulation. All right, their method of handling overpopulation is extremely harsh. We have to find another way to do that, but that's not going to happen with Trump in office. You've got that and the climate. I mean, please, if you don't do something with the climate, that's so stupid. I mean, there's scientists that'll say that I'm wrong about the population problems and whatnot, and I understand that, and I'll be happy. Let me tell you something. I'll be happy to be wrong about that. I really would. I mean, I'd be ecstatic if I'm wrong about that, the population problem that we're going to face. But I do believe that the climate, we're going to face it. It's not a question of everything you read about says this is happening much, much faster than they thought it was going to happen. What was it, Greenland or somebody had the big ice melt recently? They thought that would take at least another 10 years. It did it in a weekend. Come on, people. All right, go outside. How hot is it out there right now, okay? I mean, I live in a country that when the sun comes out, you can cook on the sidewalks, and that's the truth. That's not a lie. That's not an exaggeration. The sun down here, when it's out, and this time of year, you can cook on the sidewalk or on the street. My dog will not walk on the sidewalk. Antonia will not walk on the sidewalk unless it's in the shade. He doesn't even like walking on the grass in the sun. Also, we go out now. All Antonia wants to do is find a nice tree to lay down under. And I don't blame her. I like to go out there and sit underneath the trees for a while. I like doing it with her. We sit underneath the trees. But you will let. I know Trump's crazy. I've known it for years. I don't realize how crazy he was until he got elected. Until he ran for office and everything. But he's nuts, and I know he doesn't care about people because that I've seen. I saw that years ago. I told that story a couple of times what he did to this lady in Atlantic City. He doesn't care. He has no empathy for other people. He doesn't do a thing unless there's money in it for him. And you say, well, that's what business is all about. He's not a charity. He has a right to make money. You have a right to make money, but not at the at the expense of others. If you understand what I'm trying to say, you don't make money by destroying people. You don't make money by hurting people. You don't make money without by doing things without empathy. You have to care about what you're doing, and you can still make money. You know, what's $100,000 less if you're making five? If you're making, $1 billion a year or whatever. If you got $1 billion in the bank, which I don't think he does. You know, you look at he's running this thing they call a super PAC. He's got $100 million in that super PAC. He can do whatever he wants with that money. He does not have to finance a candidate. He does not do anything. He can pay his bills with it. And I guarantee you he's living on that money. That man has the original inheritance that he got. That $250 million has never been touched. Okay? He convinces people to invest with him. Yes, the high-end investors make money. The low-end investors lose money. That's like saying, if a guy like me goes into a invest in something that Trump's doing, either with time or money or whatever, he's going to lose. All right, but Trump's going to make money, and the billionaires that go in with him are going to make money. The rest of the people aren't. And if you look at Atlantic City, you can see that. Talk to the smaller the contractor that was involved down there, they lost. The major players down there didn't lose, but the small people lost. That's the art of the deal. That's, if you read the book, that's pretty much what he does. That's the art of the deal. He uses other people to make him money. It's not let's go out and make money together. If you have to make money with me, okay, but I got to get the biggest share. And if I can, I'm going to screw you out of your money. That's Donald Trump. But now he's playing with our lives. Now he wants to, if he's elected president, he'll be playing with our lives. And trust me, the situation, the way they're talking, if everything stays exactly as it is right now, the situation in 2024 is going to be really super miserable, especially for the people out west. Oh, the fires aren't due to the dryness. The fires are due to the fact that you don't clean the forest floors. Those forest floors have been that way for hundreds of years. Okay? Man starts those fires. I'll say this: 7 out of 10 of those fires are started by some mistake a man make, or that they're done deliberately. Down here, you look at where these fires start down here. There's nobody living there. I don't believe in spontaneous combustion. Okay, there's nobody living where these fires start that we have down here. And they burn so much because it takes them a day to get firefighters in there. They don't have jumpers like they have in the United States. It's too crazy to try and jump in there. So they have to walk in. They fight these fires without water, with shovels and brooms. And I swear to God, brooms. And this tool, it's like a rubber mat or something on the end of a pole, and they just keep beating the flames down. They work hard, don't get me wrong, but it's not efficient. But that's how they put fires out. And it takes them a couple days to put a fire out, and down here, if you wait long enough, it'll rain. And it'll help you, But the fire doesn't start by itself. They're started by arsonists. They're in the middle of nowhere. All right? There's no lightning strikes. Okay? They're started by people for clearing land. The drug dealers do it so they can plant marijuana. Hell, the government last year, oh God, a few years ago, I was walking on the main drag in town, and I looked up in the mountain. I saw this fire going on in the air. The air was filled with marijuana smoke. Somebody was burning a marijuana field. That was probably the government. I mean, everybody burned. It's the easiest way to get rid of stuff down here is to burn it. Get rid instead of taking it to the garbage, to the dump or something. Burn it, and that starts fires. All the people that own what they call farms, which are nothing more than big a house with a big backyard, they burn everything. They don't. Garbage men don't come up and collect it. They burn it, and then they take the recycling someplace and try to get some money for it. But I haven't. The only thing I could tell you about the climate down here is that we're getting a lot more violent rainstorms. So we're getting a lot more rain. We don't get the we haven't had the long dry season, at least where I live. I mean, they say that there are areas of the country that have serious droughts and whatnot, but where we live, we've been having the opposite. We've been getting too much water, a lot of flooding, a lot of erosion along these streams that run through villages and whatnot, and the mudslides and whatnot from erosion, that kind of thing we've been having. But the climate's a mess. I'm not a scientist, okay, but I believe what they tell me. I have to believe what they're telling me. And this isn't one. If it was one scientist saying it, hey, either he's a visionary or he's a nut job. But it's more than one scientist now, all right? They're all saying the same things. I don't know whether it'll happen while I'm still alive, but you guys, I can tell you this: at the rate things are going, you're going to wake up one morning, you're not going to have any electricity, especially if you're out west in the United States. With no electricity means no cell phones. No cell phones means no internet. Okay, you're not even going to be able to use your gas because electric's going to pump it. Okay, no water because it's not going to get pumped to you. Do that. See what happens if those people out west don't get guns and come east, or go to Canada, or go to Alaska. They're going to start taking property. People get crazy when this happens to them. They're not going to go out and say, well, sure, there are people that will go out and help you. There are people that will help you, that will give you stuff and whatnot, that would help out their neighbors and whatnot. But more people carry guns. That's Republicans. It's that white supremacist thing. You don't think if a black farmer owns 10 head of 25 head of cattle, and he has nice big cornfields and whatnot, you don't think the white people in his neighborhood are going to come down and shoot him, take his land, take his animals? If you don't think that's going to happen, hey, I'm hoping I'm not around for that. I'd be surprised if I'm around in 2024. All right. The amount of things going on with my body, I'd be surprised if I'm around next year. But it's the climate has to be taken seriously, and the threat that Trump represents from a climate point of view is worse than anything he represents as a threat towards democracy. It's even worse than that. And he's a huge threat to democracy. The Republican Party's a huge threat to democracy. And I don't understand that. You want to see what happens when you have idiots take over a country. Look at Venezuela. And the thing about that is he still has people that support him. And that country's a mess. It's one of the poorest countries. It's not poor because it's got a lot of oil and stuff in the ground. It has the second largest oil reserves in the world, and then that makes it. People don't want to blow it up. That's why he's still in office. People don't want to go in there and get the country blown up, get everybody pissed off, shoot him and stuff like that. He can't get the stuff out of the ground without help. Right now, it's the Chinese that are helping him. Although I heard he owes them a lot of money. And, his money's all scattered all over the place. He's got gold in other countries. He's got his predecessor's daughter living in the United States doing banking in 3 countries. She's got $4.2 billion hidden or something like that. And he doesn't care about what happens to the climate. I live in a country that if they had half a brain, they could lead the world in solar power, solar and wind power. We get winds down here in the valley that I live in. We get winds down here around sundown that it makes it hard walking sometimes, you know. But you have enough sun down here that solar power, and you build storage batteries. You know, I don't know whether the storage batteries are a pollutant or what have you, but I mean, I think you can, you know, uh, it's a big deal if you want to do it. I don't know. First thing you have to do down here is change the government. You know, that's another story altogether because this is what they call a narco government down here. But you get rid of that, change the government, and then you can go solar power. You make enough electricity to sell it to the rest of South America until they start doing it. And then you can sell it to North America. Oh God, I don't know what to do. I'm just so pissed off about this. You know that he has a chance to get reelected in 2024, and because of stupidity. You know, and the world will suffer so much because of that. In this country, the people in my age bracket and people in my income bracket will suffer so horribly with another administration of his. And he'll put the country so far behind, it'll never catch up. Just because he worries about outer space more than does this country. And first of all, if you want to, I don't know. If you want to be able to fly to space, you better, unless only 10 or 15 people want to get off this planet. If you want to move the population, you're going to have to start taking care of this planet. Uh, that's why I said, you know, that's why the Terminator movie struck a thing, and they have this chip that learns from its mistakes now. Like it's just like in the movie, and that's been '70s, and the thing about artificial intelligence is if it ever becomes what they call what's the term? Well, if it ever becomes aware, all right, of what's going on, it'll destroy the human race. That was God. What was his name? I can't remember his name. I'm losing my memory slowly. Anyhow, one of the great scientists that just passed away. His greatest fear is artificial intelligence. Why? Because it thinks logically, and logically, we are the biggest threat to this planet. So if you're to protect the planet, the minute you designate artificial intelligence to protect this planet, it will come after us. Okay, I got a couple minutes left. I don't know whether I made any sense tonight. You know, I'm just pissed. When I get pissed, I don't make a lot of sense. I rant and I ramble on. But that's serious shit, that climate stuff, man. I'm real serious about that. That's just a horrible situation that if we don't do something about it, it's just the world's going to end. Your children will have no place to live on this planet. They will have to get off this planet. And if you think in 30 or 40 years that you can move that many people off the planet, I don't know. I don't know if you could build rockets that big and get them into the air in 30 years. You know, we're not talking 7 or 8 people. Now we're talking 7 or 8,000 people at a clip. You know, that's kind of hard to do. All right, we got about a minute and 60 seconds left here. So don't forget to go to Facebook or Tumblr or look me up on @JeffreyBruff on Twitter, and check out my 3 for free every day, every morning. I put that up. You have to subscribe to it if you wanna see it every day. You know, check out my written blog on Sundays. I keep saying this. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to start posting more videos to YouTube. I have 70 up there under Antonia And Fats, but that's just type in my name, subscribe to my channel, you know, and you'll get more bullshit than you can possibly handle. All right, we have that's about it. So I want everybody to have a good week. Be safe. I know you have problems up there with the virus, so be careful. Watch your step. Wear a mask. Screw what they say. All right. And we'll be here next Monday night, 8 o'clock, for those of you on the East Coast and whatnot. All right. So everybody, take care.